On this podcast, we're all about building your dream life, and it's no secret that for a lot of us, our dream life requires us to make more money. We love bringing you different side hustles on this podcast, and today we're deep diving into a side hustle that is literally making some people hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. This episode is all about TikTok Shop, what it is, how to start, and how much you can realistically make on it, all without being an influencer or having a following. We're going to give you an overview, and then halfway through the episode, we're bringing on a few guests that crush it in TikTok Shop for mini interviews to inspire you that this is absolutely possible for you too.
This episode is going to be so good. I cannot wait to get to the interview portions of this episode too. But I want to emphasize before we get into the conversation that this episode isn't about how to become an influencer on TikTok. It's not about growing a following and how you can rack up followers. It's about how you can make money off of TikTok Shop. So all the people that we're bringing on are people who have made money off of TikTok Shop as a TikTok Shop creator, meaning that they've grown their pages on TikTok Shop, and that's the primary thing that they do. But I think that as we're going to talk about, in this little bit before we get into the interviews, I think that is the really exciting part is you don't need to be an influencer in order to make money on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, I think that's the big differentiator. Like when we say you're making money on TikTok Shop, you're making money as a TikTok Shop creator, you're still posting videos on TikTok like an influencer would. However, you're not growing your TikTok following by sharing all of the ins and outs of your life and being an influencer in that way. That's the big differentiator. These people that we're going to bring on to interview and just in our discussion here at the beginning as well, we're talking about posting on TikTok strictly for the purpose of promoting TikTok Shop products, not for the purpose of you're posting a million times a day about every single thing that you're doing and you're letting people in on your life and telling them where you live and about your relationships and what you do for fun. It doesn't have to be that. These people that we're bringing on, like you just said, it's not that they haven't grown any followers. You can still grow some followers if people like your TikTok Shop videos and they want to see more TikTok Shop videos from you, but they're not posting with the intent of building a following, getting brand deals. These people are posting and strictly making money off of TikTok Shop and this kind of like affiliate marketing space, which is what we're going to talk about.
I feel like when TikTok Shop started, it was a lot of kind of like scammy products. I feel like it was a lot of really, really cheaply made things from Temu and Alibaba and stuff like that. And the products were also somewhat strange. I feel like when it started, I was like, what the heck are some of these things? Why are we promoting these things? But now it's essentially turned into an Amazon that is just built into TikTok. And because of that, and because it's become something that people as consumers and as shoppers are starting to trust more, the potential is actually insane as a TikTok shop creator, which again, you guys will hear more about in the interview portion of this, but also just as creators ourselves, we've seen some of that. And it's just, I don't know, it's crazy to think about what you can do as a TikTok shop creator and just how much you can make.
Yeah, TikTok Shop gets a really bad rep because I think they did such a bad job rolling it out. Like at the beginning, when they did roll it out, like you just said, the products were so strange. It was all literally, it felt like Temu or Shein that,
hmm
like with the products that they rolled out. But now, any product that's on Amazon, I would say 80% of the time, the product is also on TikTok Shop. A lot of products that if you look around your house, you see and you use every single day. If you go to TikTok Shop, you will probably notice that that product is there too. And if you're not familiar with TikTok Shop and the products that are on there, like maybe all you know about TikTok Shop is when you're scrolling through TikTok, sometimes you see a TikTok Shop video pop up. If you go onto your TikTok into the feed where it has like the For You page, up at the top, you can filter over to it says shop. So it'll be like For You page, there's the following tab, then there's also a shop tab and literally click into the shop tab and just scroll at all of the products that are on there. So many products are on there. I know for me, I bought some of my household products on TikTok Shop, like a lot of the furniture and stuff, but most of the things that I see on my Amazon too, I also see on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the brands are starting to put items on TikTok Shop because TikTok offers incentives for that. TikTok will offer discounts on the products where the consumer saves money, and TikTok covers the difference in that cost. It's not the brand. Like, I mean, sometimes a brand will put a product on for, let's say, 20% off, but sometimes TikTok is doing that, and TikTok is covering the difference in order to incentivize people to purchase more products from that store or in that category as a whole. I literally saw a KitchenAid mixer on TikTok Shop this morning. And I thought, and it was being sold for like $400 or something, because it just goes to show how many products are on there and why a lot of brands are getting onto TikTok, because TikTok is really incentivizing it and people are buying there left and right, which presents a really, really big opportunity for creators.
Yeah, it's a huge opportunity for creators. And like I said in the intro of this episode, there are creators literally making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on TikTok Shop. That's their commission, not how much revenue they sold for the brands. Their commission, a couple $100,000 a month. Like I was scrolling on TikTok the other day and I saw this creator that I follow. She has her TikTok Shop page, but then she also has another TikTok account where she'll share more like influencery things, but then she'll also share the behind the scenes of TikTok Shop as well. And she showed her commission screenshot and she literally made $300,000 in a month off of TikTok Shop commissions, which is absolutely insane. But I also want to say, like, if you are very new to this, maybe this is the first time that you're hearing about TikTok Shop as a potential side hustle. I feel like that number and those big of numbers can almost seem a little bit intimidating because it's kind of like, oh, well, how realistic actually is that? This creator is probably posting 50 times a day and she's been doing this for so long and blah, blah, blah. So if it seems intimidating, it might scare you from even just getting started. But I think maybe flip your brain on that and say, well, if that's possible for someone, what does it look like for me to do this very part time and maybe make a couple $100 a month or a couple $1,000 a month posting one video a day? Like it doesn't have to be all or nothing. So I think that is really exciting too. It's you're very in control of how much time you want to dedicate to this as a side hustle, which makes it the perfect way to do it part time or to do it full time and scale from there.
Before we get into the interview portion of this, we want to just give some background too on TikTok Shop and kind of just like how it works and yeah, some of the mechanics of it to just give you a better understanding before you're listening to people talk about it, because we're not going to ask them for, some of the super basic things because it's just repetitive. We want to get into the nitty-gritty of their stories, but TikTok Shop at its core is really just affiliate marketing. That's the whole concept or the whole way that TikTok Shop operates. And all that means is that you promote a product and you encourage people to purchase that product. And when they do purchase that product through your link, you receive a commission or a small payment or percentage of that sale. And this has existed for a very long time. Amazon affiliates, they call it Amazon Associates, is what their program is called. But that's when you go to an influencer's Amazon storefront and you purchase something. That program was released in the 1990s. I think it was 1996, that was before I was even born. Amazon Associates was out. And I think when I was researching and preparing for this episode, I think the first real well-known affiliate program was released in 1994. So it's been around for longer than we might think. TikTok Shop, of course, is a lot newer, but it's literally just the idea of you promote a product. When someone buys it, you get a commission. And on TikTok Shop, the rates range anywhere from brands can set a rate from 1% to 80% of that product value. So typically when you're promoting a product that's, around $20 to $35, you're going to see a commission of anywhere from like $3 to $6. That's pretty standard, meaning when you sell one of those products, you get anywhere from $3 to $6, I would say, on average.
Yeah, to give you an example of what this looks like. So I don't do a ton of TikTok Shop content on my channel. I post videos like here and there, but it's obviously not my main thing. But when I moved into my house, I bought my dining room table off of TikTok Shop. I was looking for an extendable dining room table literally everywhere, and I didn't want to spend thousands of dollars on it. And I found one on TikTok Shop, and it was $288, I believe, when I bought it. And I've posted probably like 10 times about this dining room table. And obviously, every time I post, people can find it, buy it. I earn it's like right around $22 per dining room table that I sell. So that's like a good perspective on, and like you just said, the commission rates can change. Some products will offer you like 20% commission. So if you sell a $100 product, you earn $20. And then some products will offer you like 3% commission. So if you sell a $100 product, you earn $3. So it's not standard. It does depend on the product. A lot of times it differs by category too. So it totally depends, but you can obviously see that when you are choosing products for which ones that you plan to promote. But the other thing to mention is kind of in this affiliate marketing space, why TikTok Shop is such a good opportunity as well is it really lowers the barrier to purchase for consumers, but then also for creators to share their affiliate link. So if you have an Amazon storefront, right? And let's say you are posting TikTok videos about Amazon products, you have to put your Amazon storefront in your TikTok profile, your TikTok bio. And if someone sees one of your videos, they have to click on your profile, click on your link in bio, find your Amazon storefront, and then scroll through your Amazon storefront to find the top that you're promoting or the piece of furniture that you're promoting. TikTok Shop, when you post a video, the link shows up right on the screen. So someone can see my video about my dining room table and see right on the screen, click here to view or buy this dining room table, and they can check out right there. And they say, from a conversion standpoint, that every single click that someone has to make decreases your conversion percentage because it's another barrier to purchase. So just that alone of not forcing people to click on 6 different buttons to get to your Amazon storefront versus checking out right on the screen increases your conversion percentage.
It makes sense for both the like on the creator side and on the consumer side because as a creator, it's like, yeah, if I'll get questions on a video from someone being like, where did you get this from? And I'll say, oh, I got it from here. It's linked in my shop or in my Amazon. And then again, people have to go and find it. So then the chance of me actually making a commission off of that item is slimmer because now they have to go through 10 different steps. So as a creator, that's why a lot of times creators, when they post content, and people ask where is it from, they want to just say, oh, it's in my shop or it's in my Amazon rather than saying exactly where it's from because they're basically promoting a brand for free. If you're going to go purchase from that brand, they want to earn a commission as part of that. So it's easier for creators to just be able to tag a product. But then, yeah, as a consumer, I think about if I'm scrolling and I see something that you're wearing that's so cute. I'm sorry. It's like, am I going to go through 7 steps to try to find what that piece is? If I think it is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life, yes. But if I'm just like, oh, that's a good, nice, like basic white top. I need a basic white top that looks really good, whatever. I'm not going through 7 steps to do it. I would rather just like grab it right there. What I think is interesting about TikTok Shop too, it's this whole idea of shoppable commerce, being able to just scroll through and shop, is you get to see the product in such a different way. It's not like on Amazon when you're scrolling and you're just seeing pictures of the products, you're seeing videos that allow you to see how the product is being used, the product in action, the quality of the product. And that makes it easier to save as well, right? If I see you posting something, I'm like, that's so cute, I want to buy it. I can just save the video and come back and use your link later, which is just, it just makes it more accessible for both the creator and the consumer.
Absolutely. When I bought my $300 dining room table from TikTok Shop, I was able to watch like 6 different videos of people
Mhm.
showing what the table looked like, how they styled it, but then also showing the process of it physically extending, which made me want to buy it. Because if I'm seeing just a stock image of a $288 dining room table, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a piece of junk. That's going to look so bad, or it's going to come broken, or whatever it may be. But when you can see actual people promoting it and showing a video of what the item looks like, it makes it so much better and such a better, yeah, consumer experience, like you said. Let's talk a little bit about becoming a TikTok shop creator because, like we said at the beginning, we really want to emphasize that this is so not about becoming an influencer. It doesn't have to be a situation where the only way that you can make money on TikTok shop is if you have a big following. That's not the point. There are people who, as soon as they qualify for posting TikTok shop videos, they are not growing their personal brand. They're not growing a following, but they're making a substantial amount of money on TikTok shop. So, the big requirement to get into this kind of like TikTok shop program or qualify for posting shoppable videos is you have to have 5,000 followers on a TikTok account. That's the big threshold. I also believe that all of this only applies if you're in the US. I have no idea, no
Yeah.
idea what TikTok shop looks like outside of the US.
Me either.
Sorry if you're in Canada or Europe listening to this. I don't think this applies to you, but you have to have 5,000 followers on a TikTok account. And I do think that this is the biggest hurdle for a lot of people to get started because if you've never posted a TikTok video before, you have 0 TikTok followers. What I will say is A lot of people, I think, have a personal TikTok account from when TikTok was like a dance, like posting the posting the dances. I know for
Mhm.
me, when I was in college, I had a personal TikTok account. I don't even really have the login information, but I'm sure I could log back into it. I would post like random dances during COVID in my college apartment. That account for sure has more than 5,000 followers on it. So I do think a lot of people, like if you've ever been into posting TikTok videos, you probably have 5,000 followers. Then the other part of it is it's just a hurdle you have to get over. 5,000 followers in the grand scheme of things is not going to be that difficult to acquire. So that's
Yeah.
like the hurdle for you to get past. And then once you do, you have kind of unlocked this side hustle.
I think if you think about it as a setup cost or just yeah, part of the process, it makes it a lot easier because let's say you were going to get into freelancing, there are going to be quote unquote setup costs and not necessarily things that I mean you have to pay money for, but time you have to commit to learning a skill, to creating your portfolio, to, zhuzhing up your LinkedIn, to whatever it may be, networking, applying, for gigs and submitting proposals. Like those are all setup costs to freelancing before you can even make any money from it. And I think with TikTok Shop, that's, building your account to over 5,000 followers is just one of the setup costs. And I think you just have to think about if that's worth it. But when you look at, again, what people are making and you think about how profitable of a side hustle and just how fun of a side hustle it could end up being, to me, those types of setup costs are more than worth it.
I totally agree. And the other thing that we'll say about becoming a TikTok shop creator is that I think when we're talking about this conversation, and especially when we get into the interviews, these are people with accounts dedicated to TikTok shop. So every single video is posting a TikTok shop link for the most part. However, if you are in the group of people that is trying to build their personal brand on social media, because we talk about that a lot on the podcast as well, how to build your personal brand. I think in 2026, a lot of people are interested in building their personal brand. It might sound overwhelming to be like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna go make a new TikTok account and post a bunch of TikTok shop videos on there." I don't think it has to be one or the other. I don't think you have to create an entire separate account to be a TikTok shop creator. I think there's ways to sprinkle in TikTok shop videos with products that are related to your personal brand. Again, for example, when I moved into my house, obviously I was posting a lot of house content in general. I sprinkled in content about my dining room table, and there were a couple of other products that I bought on TikTok Shop or that I could promote on TikTok Shop related to my home content. It's the same thing if you are a fashion creator. Not all of your videos have to be TikTok Shop videos, but you can sprinkle them in. So there is a way to integrate it into building your personal brand and making it one of your streams of income for your personal brand.
I think that is the biggest like misconception with it is that you have to be whether you choose to do it on your page building your personal brand or whether you're choosing to do it on a page dedicated to TikTok shop. I think there's this misconception that you have to be constantly buying a bunch of products and pushing a million different things. But if you look at some of the top creators, and I encourage you to just like go to the shop tab on TikTok and like scroll through and look at products and look at the videos that are showing up and look at their stuff, you will find that a lot of these top creators are focused on a couple of products and they'll figure out how to market that product really well before they kind of branch to another one. So let's say there's this one girl who does a lash, like an eyelash serum, and it's just like her ride or die lash serum. So she started making videos about it. She makes a lot of videos about that one product. And over time, as she started to create them, she really nailed down a format that sells really well. And so now she posts that same format over and over and over again because it sells well. Whether you decide to do that and you're posting, again, like that girl, you're posting a bunch of TikTok shop videos every day, or if you're posting kind of how you do with your dining room table and you're sprinkling them in over a broader period of time, you don't have to go and like buy up a bunch of products and collect nonsense that you don't need. You can just find a few things that you enjoy and create content around those and really figure out how to nail the marketing of that one product.
This absolutely is one of the biggest misconceptions because the algorithm is becoming so much more FYP focused and a way less follower focused. So even if you are in the bucket where you are trying to build your personal brand, but you also want to start sprinkling in TikTok shop videos for products that you love, you might post a video once and then maybe it'll sell a couple of times, maybe it won't, but then you kind of feel like you've fatigued that product. That is so not the case. Even if it is on your own page, if you post 10 videos of the same product, the odds that a follower of yours is going to see all 10 of those videos or even 5 of the 10 of those videos is so slim because people aren't watching every single video of the people that they follow. They're scrolling the For You page and usually they're seeing content from people that they don't even follow. So that is a really big misconception that you have to get a bunch of products and market the product 1 or 2 times, then move on to the next thing. That's not what the most successful creators are doing.
No.
They are promoting the products that they love and the products that they know how to talk about over and over again. The other thing to mention with that too, and now we're kind of transitioning into choosing products before we bring in the guests for the interviews. I think it's really important to find your unique edge and find the things that you actually like talking about. So, this is going to be what are you good at selling and what do you enjoy talking about? For the girl that sells the eyelash serum, okay, if you don't have nice eyelashes or like if you use the eyelash serum and it still didn't make your eyelashes look exceptional, you might not be super effective selling an eyelash serum. But if you're someone that has insanely good hair, you might be super effective at selling the hairbrush that you use or the shampoo and conditioner that you use. For me, I have very average hair. So I'm never going to be someone that's just selling a hairbrush or shampoo and conditioner. Same thing with there's girls that make so much money on skincare, especially in like
Mm.
the Korean beauty space. Okay, skincare is not my thing. Like, I'm never
Mhm.
going to be a beauty and a skincare person. So it's not a situation where you need to be scrolling the FYP and every time you see a viral TikTok shop video, you need to go buy that product and start marketing that product. Find what you like. Maybe you have a pet and find a couple of pet products on TikTok shop and that's what your account is about. It doesn't
Yes.
have to be everything that's going viral.
I recently got to participate in this like TikTok shop pilot program. I can't share like a ton of details about it, but it was one of the things that we learned in that program was the most successful creators on TikTok shop in general, they find products that fit into their daily life in some way because if you're going to create an account dedicated to TikTok shop and you're trying to post multiple times about it, even if it's just 5 times a day, it has to be something that it's easy to create a video around. And so one thing that I learned was that my nail product that I use, Dazzle Dry, I've been using it for over a year now and I love it and I never don't have it on my nails. It's constantly on my nails. I can talk about this every single day of my life because it's always on my nails. However, I tried to do a fashion product one time and I would have to batch film the videos. I would have to like take a day and literally carve out 3 hours and film a million videos in that tank top because realistically, I don't wear the same tank top every day of my life. Another good example was that there was a creator in this pilot program with me who is a runner and she runs every single day or does some form of workout. So she is in a workout set every day. So the product that she chose to promote was a running belt because she wears the running belt on her runs. And every time before she goes for a run, she just would take 15 minutes and make 5 videos showing how she puts things in her running belt and da 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 da. Or if she's not running that day, she's always going on a workout. So she's always going to be in a workout set at least once a day. So yeah, if you have a let's say you have a pet that you're vacuuming every day for. Maybe that's your thing and you do like vacuums and cleaning products or whatever it may be. Or if you are really into skincare, maybe you do that or whatever. It just has to be something that you can integrate into your day. And I will say, with Dazzle Dry, for example, I posted one video talking about it because I was just so excited about Dazzle Dry and I wanted people to see the process. And the video ended up getting like 400,000 or 500,000 organic views, not even really coming from my followers, mostly from the For You page. And I happen to link the TikTok shop video. I know the last time I looked, which was a couple months ago, I had made about $2,000 commission on that one video. And then the brand asked to purchase usage rights to use it in paid ads. And so I ended up making more money off of it. So it's like that one video of me just talking authentically about my nail products led to so much more because it was easy for me to be able to integrate into my day. If I were to choose something that's hard to create videos around, and the excitement isn't there, I can sit there as I'm like Dazzle Dry's #1 fan. I can sit there and talk about it all day long, but I can't do that with a skincare product because I'm not a skincare girly.
Yeah, exactly. We all have interests. We all have things that we naturally gravitate toward. I feel like for me, mine are more like home cleaning pet. I would like to do more in the pet space. I feel like I haven't really, but Bella's so cute and like
She is so cute.
she's like a little prop.
She's the star.
But yeah, same when with my dining room table, I've posted about it probably maybe up to 10 times at this point because again, like posting virtually the same video, just tweaking the hooks or tweaking the visual in the video. I've posted about it probably 10 times in the last 6 months. And I've literally made like over 10K over 6 months strictly off of my dining room table, which is crazy to think about. Like 10 videos. And granted, these numbers, because again, we're going to get into the interviews here in a second. And I think they're going to do a better job of sharing like realistically what you can expect numbers wise, especially with a timeline, because it's not going to be a situation where you're going to start an account tomorrow, get to 5,000 followers the next day, post a video the next day, and hit a $3,000 month. That's just not the reality of it. You do have to put in work. But I think that the opportunity is there. If you are consistent with it, if you are focused on it, the opportunity is there when you start to kind of narrow these things down that they're going to talk about. But with that, I think this is a good point to transition into the interviews. I'm super excited about this. We haven't brought guests onto the podcast in so long, and we wanted to do this kind of like mini interview style with a couple of different guests so that you guys can get different perspectives into yeah, how people are making money on TikTok Shop. So with that, let's get into the interviews.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Bluevine, the largest small business banking platform in the United States. I've used Bluevine for business banking for almost 3 years now, and it's also the one we use for the podcast as well.
We are always talking about systems and being more productive and organized, and this especially matters when it comes to your business finances. Instead of having an app for banking, another for invoicing, and a third one for payments, you can do all of that right within Bluevine.
I love that it's all in one, but there are actually a few things about Bluevine that really sold me on it too and made me open an account a few years ago. And one was that there are no monthly fees on their core tiers. So you're not paying just to have the account open, which is really nice. Second, you can create sub accounts within your checking account, which I use to separate money that I'm saving for taxes. And I absolutely love that visual separation. And the third thing that really made me go with Bluevine was that Bluevine's business checking account actually earns high yield interest, which I found isn't super common for business checking accounts when I was initially looking for one. And I like that while my money is sitting in my account, that it's actually earning me even more income.
You can apply for Bluevine Business Checking whether you're a sole proprietor, LLC, corporation, or partnership. Go to bluevine.com/partner/the life you love podcast. That's bluevine.com/partner/the life you love podcast to learn more or use the link in the show notes. Hiya, thank you for coming on to the podcast. I'm so excited to interview you today and talk about TikTok Shop. So to kick us off, can you introduce yourself and then also just give a brief overview of how and why you got into posting TikTok Shop videos?
Yes, thank you for having me. I love this podcast from what I've been listening to. I'm so excited and honored that you would ask me to be on, truly. My name is Moriah. Like you said, I've been a TikTok Shop affiliate for a year and a half now. And last year, I was actually in the top 2% of TikTok Shop creators. So that was like a big
Wait, that's
shock
crazy.
and
Yeah,
really
that's
cool to
awesome.
see that.
First of all, I like do not know anything about Mariah's story. I'm like learning it for the first time too. So I'm excited to learn about this.
Yeah, I'm so happy to share. I love talking about it because it literally did change my life and it's so like attainable for just your average person. Like it's so crazy. But I just remember the conversation with my husband. We were sitting at Chipotle doing like a budget meeting and we were just trying to think of ways to like level up financially. I had recently decided I wanted to stop doing real estate because it was just too demanding. I didn't like having to be accessible 24/7, having to pick up the phone whenever my clients needed me because I had a little toddler that needed me and I wanted her to be my priority and just be able to be fully present with her. So I remember sitting there in that budget meeting with my husband, just trying to think, how can we increase our household income and just saying, I don't know, I was kind of scared to say it out loud, but I was like, well, like I'm trying to post on TikTok consistently. And it was still just very like far-fetched, kind of unrealistic. And I remember my husband being like, well, like what's stopping you? Like, why aren't you going for that
I
full
love
force?
that.
I know. I was like, honestly, it sounds silly, but just hearing him say that really gave me the permission to just take it seriously, and the fact that he saw it as a legitimate thing that I could make happen really, like, lit that fire underneath me to go after it, and now that's, like, kind of what I wanna be for other people. So, that's
No, I
kind of,
love
like,
that.
how I started. Yeah.
Start posting like, did you start from the beginning being like, "I'm going to make money off of TikTok Shop," or were you posting more
Mm-mm.
general content first?
Yeah, honestly, at that point, I didn't even know about TikTok Shop. I don't know when it like first started, but when I was saying that to him, I just had this vague idea of earning an income from the app. So I was just posting content around like being a mom, what I was feeding my toddler, grocery hauls, kids' clothing hauls, stuff like that. I really think that it's less about what you're posting if you're trying to get into TikTok Shop, but more about just consistency, just that you are posting every day, period, whatever that is. And also like the post that you're interacting with, I feel like that's more so what matters.
No, I love that so much because Grace and I were talking before we kicked off this interview, in the beginning portion of this episode. We were kind of talking about that too, saying, I think TikTok Shop gets a little bit of a bad rep because it's like, oh, you're promoting hundreds
Yes.
of these like random products that you like probably don't
Yes.
even use, then you throw them
Right.
away
And like,
after.
I
And
know
it's,
you just got that in the mail yesterday. Like, how
yeah.
are
And
you
it's,
gonna try and tell me it changed your skin? Like what?
right. It's like it's
Yes.
not that. It's like we're regular people too on the other side of the screen. And I love that you were
Yeah.
posting content before about being a mom and things that you use as a mom because you can naturally integrate so many products into that. And now TikTok Shop is the way that you're earning a commission off of it.
Yes, 100%. I've never been the affiliate. I mean, when I started out, I had to be a little bit more broad with the samples that I was selecting just because you're like, when you first start out, you take what you can get kind of and you try to find what works for you. But now it's, I don't want to say it gives me the ick, but like, I just don't get that authentic vibe from people that just post like such a wide range of products. Like, I'm definitely an affiliate that posts the same few things that I love over and over and over again in different formats.
Yes.
But
Okay, I love
I mean,
that
we can
so
get
much.
more into
Yeah,
that like
let's
down the
let's
line.
get into it. But first, okay, how long were you posting before you started posting TikTok shop videos? Because I'm assuming obviously you had to reach 5,000 followers. So your organic
Okay.
content got you to 5K, I'm assuming. And then how long
Actually,
after that?
no. Actually,
Oh,
no.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think I started, I would have to go back, but like really consistently, like every day, probably like June of 2024. I was like, okay, let me take this serious. And then I actually got accepted into the program in September and I had only 1,900 followers.
Okay.
So I don't know how it works now, if it's still like that. But back when I was accepted, there were certain exceptions. If you have less than 5,000 followers, they were still letting some people in. Um,
Okay. No, that I think
and
that makes sense because I think even now people say 5,000 followers, but I do think that if you are creating content consistently, I think there are still ways to get into it under
yeah,
5K.
I'm not gonna sit here and say, like, I know exactly why certain people were or are able to get in under that 5,000 follower mark, but I do know, like I said, I was being consistent, posting at least once every day. I was pretty solid in my niche of content around being a mom. I was engaging with my community for sure and actively, like, seeking out and interacting with other creators in my niche. I would say my biggest tip is start making videos about your journey on TikTok Shop because that's what I did when I first got into the program. And I started sharing tips and just talking about my process as an affiliate. And I gained 10,000 followers within my first month as an affiliate. So,
Interesting. Okay, so you were posting the TikTok shop videos, but then also on the same exact account, you were also
yes,
posting like kind of a little bit of behind the scenes, like how much money you were
yes,
making, what was working for you.
exactly. So I got into TikTok Shop and the Creator Rewards program like in the same month because those videos that weren't shop videos that I was making talking about my process were doing really well. And here's why, because people get so excited about TikTok Shop, and rightfully so, because it is a relatively, like, I don't want to say easy, but definitely realistically attainable way for your everyday, like, average Joe to make a life changing amount of money. So when people see videos of others sharing about their experiences on TikTok Shop, like as affiliates, they are so eager to support, to like it, to share it, because a lot of times, ultimately, they want that for themselves. So when you create content around your TikTok Shop journey, whether it's how much money you're making, like you said, things like that, it's almost guaranteed that you're gonna get shares, engagement, and ultimately followers from that type of content if you post it consistently. So that's kind of what I would say, whether you're trying to hit the 5,000 follower mark or you're already in early, it doesn't matter. I would just say, like, be vulnerable and open up about that process because people, like, eat that up. Like, they wanna hear that, they wanna share that.
I love that advice too, because something we were talking about before you hopped on is the fact I think people get caught up on the, well, if I want to do TikTok shop, I have to create a separate account for it. And no,
Mm,
that's so not true. Like whatever you want to post on TikTok, just post it on TikTok and then sprinkle in your TikTok shop videos with that already existing content because now TikTok is so FYP focused that your
yes.
followers aren't seeing all of your videos anyway. And when we talk about products and how you create multiple videos for the same product, you can touch on that as well. Like you're
Yeah,
creating multiple videos for the same
right.
product. You're not annoying your followers by doing that because they're
Exactly.
not seeing everything.
Exactly. Yeah, I would say my strategy definitely changed a lot though from the first year. So the first year I was trying to be very organic with my content and I was mixing in like my old lifestyle content before I was an affiliate and also my TikTok shop tip videos. I was really trying to mix everything. I put so much effort into my TikTok shop videos. It's so funny looking back, but I did a little collab with a shoe brand called Vivaya and they sent me this pair of ballet flats. Tell me why. I packed a picnic basket with a bottle of wine, bought a whole new outfit, like went to
Oh
a
my
park and had my sister film this collab for me with them. And it was just for like one TikTok shop video.
Wait,
And I
I
was
love
like, wait a
that.
sec.
And then you learn
I
that
did
those
not understand the assignment at all.
yeah, and then you learn that sometimes the higher quality stuff doesn't even convert as much because it's
Exactly.
like, okay, that
Yeah.
wasn't the assignment. Like they
At all.
just hold up the
At
ballet
all.
flats and show them and try them on your feet maybe.
Literally.
But
So I think I didn't really like even like I said, I didn't even know about TikTok Shop at first, and I didn't wanna be that corny, like, creator that's just shoving stuff in your face and like, "Tap the orange shopping cart." Like, I thought that was, like, annoying, but now I've changed my strategy a lot just because I understand obviously more, like, what people wanna see. They want it to be relatable, they want it to be authentic, honest, not like a commercial. Like, so does that kinda make sense with what
yes.
you were asking about?
No, for sure. So can you give me a timeline then on like when you started posting TikTok shop videos and then
Uh-huh.
when you started noticing traction from like a monetary standpoint on it?
Yes, I love to talk about this, and I love income transparency just because that helped me so much. Like, I don't see it as bragging anymore at all because like, when I heard girls sharing what they were making, that made me just realize it's actually realistic. So, my first month was September of 2024. I made $2.29, and it was from a sale that my friend bought. So, it wasn't even like a
Oh
real
my
I didn't
gosh,
even
I
count
love
that.
that.
So that was my first month, I'll never forget, $2.29, but then in October, I made, like, $48, so I was like, "Okay, some progress." I was just posting everything under the sun, trying everything, seeing what works, which looking back now, there is a way to avoid that. This is just kind of like a side note. You can see how many of a product has sold. Like, please take advantage of that as an affiliate. If you're able to request the samples that have proven sales already, just don't waste your time. Like, if something has sold 2 of them, like, you are not gonna most likely be the one that sells like,
Well, and
makes
I
that
will say
viral.
too, I feel like looking back, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this because I wasn't really
Mhm.
posting on TikTok Shop in 2024, but
Okay.
the products that were available in 2024 versus the products that are available
Mm,
now, it is
that's
so
true.
different. Like now, if you want to get into TikTok Shop, you can probably look around your house. And if you got something on
100%.
Amazon, it is probably
Yes.
also on TikTok Shop. So you don't
Yes.
even really have to have that hurdle of, oh, let me go scroll through and see what I can find a sample for. And it's going to be
That is
some
so true.
random yeah,
Yes.
random piece of
Start using
clothing or
what you
something.
have in your house. Yeah, start
Yeah.
using what you have in your house for sure. So, yeah, that was my mistake. I was so excited to get free stuff too, which a lot of people fall for that, but we gotta that's the low-hanging fruit. Like, once you
Yes.
start locking in and just posting, you know, the few products that are your best sellers, you're not gonna care if something's free or not, like, you can afford it. So, anyways, October, I made, like, $48, and then November, I made almost $500, and that was when Black Friday was, and I was, like, super excited for Black Friday. I was posting a bunch of content leading up to Black Friday, and it didn't disappoint. That weekend, everything started taking off, and what took off specifically for me was lash kits, and it was insane, and I thought, like, Black Friday weekend would just be, like, a bit like a firework, and then it would, like, die down, but it didn't stop, like, all through December. I went from making $500 in November to, I believe it was $10,600 in December. It
Oh
was
my
insane.
gosh.
Like, it was
Okay.
insane, and because it was lash kits, which is something that people use all the time, it wasn't like a holiday item or a seasonal item. January, I went on to make over 11,000, and then it was pretty steady through all of last year. Like, once I found lash kits and saw the potential, I was like, "Oh, okay, easy. Like, I'm gonna lock in and stick with this." And that's when my strategy slowly over last year really started changing, and I kind of started phasing out even trying new samples because I know this answer is getting kinda long, but,
No, keep going. Yeah, no, this is all great.
I really hate the advice of making TikTok shops sound like a lottery. I don't this is what I do, I don't hear a lot of creators talking about. I'm sure they do it, but I just don't see all the tip videos I see say, "You have to post 6 to 8 times a day. You need to post until you get a viral video that hits." And I mean, if you're single and you literally do this full time, like 9 to 5, cool, you have the time, but I wanna make like stay-at-home moms like myself or just people that maybe even work full time, I want them to feel that this is attainable for them too, and posting 6 to 8 times a day is ridiculous, like, if you're trying to be a mom or if you have a full-time job, like, that's just not attainable, so, what I do is focus more on quality over quantity. I'm looking for retainers usually with brands, and so I'll work together with the brand and kind of see what their concept is for the content, and then they put ad spend behind my videos, and that has been where the viral videos come from, where the money comes from, because I'm being very strategic with the product that I select. I'm communicating with the brand what they're expecting from the content. And then I know that they're going to put ads behind it because it's not just me like requesting a sample and then just making a quick random video. It's been more
Yes.
efficient for me doing it that
No,
way.
I'm glad that you touched on that because I see a lot of TikTok shop advice that says, "I post 10 times a
Mhm.
day," and I'm like, "What do you even post
Yeah.
10 times a day?" Like, that is crazy, and obviously, at the beginning, I think there's something to be said for trial and error, and you
Yeah,
definitely did that as well until you found something that works,
for
but
sure.
from a quality standpoint, it sounds like with the lash kit, was
Mhm.
it what took off for you, like, physically showing you, like, using the or, like, showing you being able to, like, put the lashes on and, like, the before
Mhm.
and after? Because I feel like that can help with the quality as well as, like, being able to
Yes.
show the product, not just, like, shove it in your face in the camera and talk about it.
100%. Yeah, the video that went viral, it was like over 13 or 14 million views. It was my first video that ever went viral, and the opening, like, the hook was just my eye, like, blinking with the eyelash, but, like, a really close up, and I filmed it in 4K at, like I forgot what the settings are called, but it's, like, 4K at 1080,
Mm. Yeah, like
something like
60 frames per second or
yes,
something like that.
60
Yeah,
frames per second, 4K and 1080,
Mhm.
it's all in there. It's in your iPhone settings, you'll see
Yeah.
it, but it's like 4K, 1080, and 60 FPS, something like that. So, like, make sure your iPhone quality is up and then, like, natural lighting. I use this little selfie light right here, but nothing fancy. Like, I didn't buy a whole ring light, nothing. It's just my tripod, this, and my phone, and I made that video, and then I just kind of once you find a good format and a good product, you kind of just tweak it a little bit and just, like, repeat it. They offered me a brand deal after that December. It was a 3-month brand deal, and then they paid me a retainer as well as paying me for my videos, and then I got a higher commission as well because I was exclusive with them. So from there, everything started opening up, and then once I was in the lash space, other lash brands were coming to me. So when that brand deal was up, I had competition, like multiple lash brands trying to offer me money. So there is so much value in, like, finding a product and sticking with it, and really kind of, like, niching down even within TikTok Shop because, again, like I said, it just doesn't even feel authentic if it's just someone unboxing a new package every day, like, when you pick a niche on TikTok Shop, I just think that that really does so much for you. Yeah,
And the opportunities really start like you just said, the opportunities really start
yes.
to come to you. I know on my TikTok Shop account, and I do it very limited. Like, I don't post a ton of TikTok Shop videos, on
Mhm.
my organic TikTok account, but it kind of boxed me into, like, the home niche, and
Mm,
now
okay.
it will boost the views on my TikTok Shop videos as
Yeah.
long as they are in the home category. So if I post a fashion TikTok Shop video, it won't, but if I post
Mhm.
a home one, it will. So it's like
Yes.
TikTok Shop starts to figure out what niche
Yes.
you're in, and
Yeah, isn't
then
it an AI-based, like, algorithm? Like,
yeah.
they literally they wanna categorize you and put you in a box, like, which is fine, like, you just gotta work with that. I think I
Yeah.
had to let go, like, as a creative, you wanna be, like, trying so many different things, but you have to work within the systems, like, maybe Instagram is better for that or something like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you also have to work with what you have. Like, I don't have nice eyelashes. I'm never gonna be an eyelash creator, but you touched on the fact that your strategy shifted and now you have, like, a couple tried and true products. Is it
Yes.
only lashes, or do you do anything else?
Well, I've had multiple products that could have, I think, done really well that I maybe posted like 3 to 5 times. I would say don't request a sample unless you're gonna stick with it and give it like 5 to 10 pieces of content before you move on from it. So, posting one video of something is not gonna show you if it's a good product or not. But I have had some products where they have done really well for me because of the lashes and sticking with that, I just haven't had the time to keep posting them, but, I've done a dog bed is something that's selling really well for me right now, this dog bed. I've had, like, certain sweatshirts from certain brands, like Tupperware, like, I've definitely had a lot of products that I could have taken, but again, it's like I have a toddler. The time that I spend on TikTok Shop, the whole point of it was to be able to spend more time with my toddler, so I'm not really, like, I haven't really taken this as far as I think I could have, but that's kind of my whole thing is like, you don't even have to do that much and you can be making like a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah, we were saying at the beginning of this episode that I saw a video on TikTok of a girl showing her commissions for a month and she made $300,000 in 1 month on
Insane.
TikTok Shop. And we were kind of saying, like, it doesn't have to be that extreme because obviously
Right,
she's doing this 24/7. But if
right.
you want to do this mega part time and make a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s a month, that's also an opportunity too. But the point
Yeah,
is that you're very in control of your income and you can scale it.
exactly, exactly.
But how many videos per day would you say you make now and, like, the amount of time that you spend on it now?
Honestly, it's crazy because last month was my highest month. I made a little bit over $15,000 and some of that was from brand deals and retainers. That wasn't all commission from TikTok Shop, but all my content now is TikTok Shop. So that was my highest month last month, but it was also like my laziest, like not laziest, but the least amount of time I dedicated to TikTok Shop, which is so crazy. But I post once a day. Like it's very rare at this point that I post more than once a day, and I batch my content now. So I have like 1 day a week where my mom takes my toddler, and I try to just knock out all my content for the week in 1
I
day,
love that.
which is so insane. It's like makes sense to me. That's why I can't get behind the 6 to 8 times a day when I could be batching my content, filming everything in 1 day, working together with the brands. They're gonna do all the heavy lifting, do the ad spend, put it behind my videos, and it's just like I don't have to
Well,
lose myself in posting a million times a day and yeah.
yeah,
So
and I think that that goes to show too because obviously when you're getting started, like you posted for months without really
mhm,
making anything. You made $2 the first month and
yeah,
$48 the second month. That's 2
yeah,
full months of work
for
for
sure,
making virtually no money, and I think for a lot
for
of
sure.
people it's easy to give up after that point, but this
Definitely.
should be really inspiring to people listening saying, "Okay, yes, I'm going to have to put in 2 maybe even 3 months of work for no return,
Yeah.
but then things start to snowball and it becomes exponentially more passive after that because you probably noticed you're still getting sales from your old videos.
Yes,
Like,
100%.
yeah, it's
That's
not
the
even just
coolest
your new
thing.
videos.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing. I would definitely say you have to give it at least 3 months, but also I don't want people to be delusional and just, like, be too, like, narrowly focused that if you're posting for more than, like, 3 to 6 months and still not seeing sales, you need to really, like, take a look and tweak and try to have some, like I say this in the nicest way, but I don't want people wasting their time, like, you do have to be like self-aware and analyzing your content and kind of tweaking it. It shouldn't be taking more than 6 months and with nothing. Like,
Yeah. No, I do agree with that too. It's like you can't just post for 3 months consistently
yeah,
without focusing on getting 1% better every single time
right.
that you're posting because you
For
should
sure.
be studying other people's content and looking inwards like you said. No, I love that.
Definitely.
So, you said your highest month was that you just had,
Yeah.
congratulations, for
Thank you.
$15,000. Are is it steady now or relatively steady or do you still have
So
super volatile differences?
okay, so last year, I think my lowest, I would have to check because TikTok, you can look back as far as 6 months. So, but I have it written down in my notes, like I keep track for taxes and all those purposes, but I don't think I had a month that was lower than $5,000 last year, which to me is like that's incredible. So it was steady. I think it fluctuated between like five to $8,000 most months last year. But I just signed a whole new brand deal. So last year there was a lot of drama too. Like lash companies were getting sued by like certain brands. I don't want to like say the names of the brands. Like I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but there was a lot of drama in the lash industry and companies were literally getting taken down off TikTok shops. So some of my brand deals would get affected and I would have to start over with new companies. But I just signed a new deal at the beginning of this year and it's starting off strong. Like I made over 15,000 last month and then this month the month wraps up in a couple days, but I'm on track to make a little bit over 10,000. So a little bit slower than last month, but it always does fluctuate, like with TikTok Shop for sure. But if I can stay in the 5 figures a month, then like I'm happy with that for sure.
Posting 1 video a day. No,
Yeah,
that is incredible.
insane.
That is so incredible. No, I think that you gave a
Yes.
lot of really good tangible advice in this and made it very digestible, and like you said at the beginning, made it seem very attainable for
Good.
people
I
because
hope
it
so.
is, like, we're just regular people, and if it's
Yes.
possible for you, it's possible for anyone listening to this
100%.
as well. To wrap
Yes.
up, do you have any last piece of advice for anyone who is considering it? Maybe they've been procrastinating it or, yeah, they wanna get into the TikTok shop space.
I think just, yeah, know what you're getting into. It is hard, but it's like a choose your hard type of situation. So it's not like go to college and get a degree hard. It's not putting your kids in daycare all week from 9 to 5 while you go to a job hard. Like to me, this hard was worth it to sacrifice the 3 to 6 months up front where you're not really seeing a return, but it's definitely worth it. Just be your own biggest cheerleader and worst critic. Always be analyzing your content, comparing it to other creators that are doing well because yeah, creators on TikTok shop, I don't mind if you literally copy my video like the exact format. Like not every time obviously, but we are all kind of just like doing our own versions of other scripts. So like don't be afraid to look at creators that are successful and try to emulate what they're doing. That will just kind of get you on the fast track. Don't waste your time on silly samples. Like, basically, I think we covered most of
Yeah.
it, but yeah, just really lock in those first 3 to 6 months. Go for samples that have proven sales or stuff you already just have in your house, and just try to copy, look at creators that are doing well and try to, like, put your own spin on it.
No, I love that so much. I think everyone's going to really appreciate your advice. Can you give your, TikTok handle so that people can find you?
Yes, it is Moriah, Moriahh 51. That is
Okay, we'll
my
put that in the
TikTok.
show notes too,
Okay,
actually, so that
perfect.
people can find you
You're
if
just
they
gonna
don't
see,
remember that.
like, a ton of lashes and close-ups of my eyes,
I
but,
love that.
I mean, like we said, the videos aren't for your followers, so, yeah, you can feel free, request some lash kits and try it out because those things sell like crazy. It's
I love
insane.
that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thanks, Mariah.
Thank you, Sydney, for coming onto the podcast today. We're super excited to have you and to hear all of your thoughts and experiences with TikTok Shop. Can you kick us off, though, by just starting with why you even got started on TikTok Shop to begin with?
So I got started on TikTok Shop because I had already had an Amazon storefront at that point. And when I saw little aspects of TikTok Shop kind of start to roll out, I thought it was a phenomenal idea because I'm like, they're just streamlining the process for consumers to actually stumble across people's real life videos and reviews. And then the product link is just right there. So I wanted to jump on that right away, even though I kind of had no idea what I was doing.
Can you give us some background? Like, were you a content creator at that point? Do you have a platform or were you just posting for fun? Like, what was your experience like on social media that led you to have an Amazon storefront and to be active on TikTok?
I originally downloaded TikTok like during COVID, as everyone else did, and just viewed it as like for pure entertainment. And then when I started working at a local coffee shop as like their full-time barista, my manager had actually suggested that like I try out live streaming because I was just working alone. It was very lonely and very slow. And I didn't really like the idea, but I was like, you know what? Maybe it'll make me feel safer, working in the mornings alone. So I just started live streaming as a barista, just like putting my phone propped up in the corner. I was listening to good music. I would make coffee and just like kind of chit chat with people. And that blew up. It just like exposed me to so many different people. And then I would wear like really cute outfits to work and people would ask, like, where'd you get that? Like, I love what you're wearing. And I was like, oh, just from Amazon or I thrifted it. And then I view that as an opportunity, like, oh, people really like my style. Maybe I could like make some money off of it. So then I started looking into Amazon storefront or Amazon influencer and just started curating little lists for people where they can shop. And then once I saw some of the commissions start to roll in, then that kind of changed everything for TikTok wise. Cause then I would share fashion inspo and like other things aside from just like coffee content.
I feel like that's so interesting because one of the things with TikTok Shop is you have to get to it's like 5,000 followers in order to be able to get or to apply into TikTok Shop. And a lot of people wonder, okay, well, if I want to do TikTok Shop as a side hustle or try to make it into a full-time thing, how the heck am I going to get to 5,000 followers? But it's interesting that you did it in somewhat of an unconventional way and then found your footing that way. Did that get you to 5,000 followers or did you have to keep building? Like, how long did it take you to get to that point?
When I was a full-time barista, I think I had already had around 15,000 to 20,000 followers. I had some other previous videos go viral and then you just kind of get random followers at that point. I was not posting consistently at that point. Then I also had a really random event that like completely skyrocketed my following, but I will say I kind of had an unfair advantage of already having a following at that point. So I think TikTok saw that and invited me to the program.
Do you think that if you were to go back and do it again, like if you were starting from scratch trying to get into TikTok Shop, that you would kind of do something similar where you're just like, let me put content out and just kind of hope something goes viral? Or what would be your strategy if you were trying to start from scratch now?
I'm probably one of the only creators out there who doesn't even have a backup account. I don't have any other sort of TikTok account. I know some affiliates like to do a TikTok Shop affiliate and then a TikTok advice, account.
Hmm.
I don't have any of that. So if I were to start from scratch, I would honestly just post the things that I enjoy watching. And that's going to be different for everyone. But specifically for TikTok Shop, I would just post products that like I'm already using in my daily routine. I would do anything that interests me. And then also, you have to view it as though people are coming across your videos and they have no idea who you are. So kind of giving them context into who you are as an individual and to just kind of pique their excitement to see if they would even like be friends with you or want to follow you, give them a reason to want to follow you.
Right, right. Like morning routine is like, okay, that's not
Hmm.
really engaging. It's like morning routine as a 27-year-old living in here, like things like that becomes more engaging. I know you mentioned to me before we started recording that TikTok Shop invited you to their beta. And so that was kind of how you got into it. Can you talk more about that? Like, what was your entry point into TikTok Shop? Because you realized, okay, Amazon affiliates is making me some good money. TikTok Shop seems really genius because it kind of simplifies the process for someone who wants to buy from you. And then TikTok Shop came into fruition and they invited you in, and that's how you got started. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah. So before TikTok Shop even came around, I was kind of dilly dallying with Amazon and Amazon Associates. However, to grow, and anyone can do this, I was actually reaching out to businesses that I wanted to work with, brands I wanted to use and work with. And then from there, I would kind of pitch my bigger platform and look for small businesses who didn't really have a following. And if I wanted their product in exchange for exposure, I would just pitch it to them that way. Like, hey, I would love to expose your brand or product to a wider audience. If you send me your product, I'll do a video review. And that really helped out a ton of small businesses. And so I was doing that even kind of before TikTok Shop came around. And then when they invited me in May of 2023, it was wild. I don't know how many beta testers were originally invited, but basically a TikTok rep reached out to me and they said, we want to invite you into this program that's going to be rolling out and it's going to be huge. And so we're allocating you $1,000 a week to pick whatever products you want from the platform. And I was like, whoa, excuse me? What?
Yeah. Whoa.
$1,000 a week? And they're like, yeah, just view it as like you're buying stuff off of Amazon. And, you know, as the program evolves, more brands and sellers are going to be joining. So the product selection is just going to get better and better. And I was having a hard time even coming to that amount because I'm not a very materialistic person. I'm very simple. So at that point, like weeks would go by and I'm like, my house is filled with all these things. I don't know what
Right.
else to buy. So I would ask my friends like, hey, do you need anything? Do you want anything? Like, let me hook a sister up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So then that allowed you, this was in 2023, you said. So that allowed you
Mhm.
basically to then buy products through TikTok Shop. And that's when you started creating the review videos, reviewing those products on TikTok Shop.
Yes. At that point, I was filling up my house with like supplements, fashion, home decor, and I would say like, yeah, a lot of household stuff because that's really all that was on there at that point, and like some fashion items. But there was one item in particular that a small business was a part of that like completely changed TikTok Shop for me in general.
What was that product?
The very first product I ever promoted, it was called the crop tuck. I'm sure you've
Oh
heard
my
of it.
gosh. I feel like I saw your videos talking about the crop tuck because it blew
Yeah.
up.
So I had reached out to her, the owner, her name is Bethany, and I saw that product and I was like, this is genius. Like, I know so many girls struggle to find a perfect way to crop their clothing without having to permanently cut it. And so I reached out to her and I said, I have a bigger platform. I see like you don't have a ton of followers. I think your product could change so many women's lives. I know that's like cliche to say, but I was like, you have a really cool product. And so I reached out to her and I was like, you should send me like 2 or 3 of your crop tucks. I'll use one. And then a way to kind of bring more exposure to your page, we could do like a giveaway. And so people would, you know, comment to enter or whatever. Well, the way that I created that video, I made it in like a funny infomercial kind of way. So it was very cheesy. And I wasn't expecting that to hit or go viral, but it did. And she had told me that she was going to give up with her business because at that point there was a competitor product called, oh, what was it called? It was some sort of competitor product. And that was on Shark Tank. And so it like really discouraged her and she was about to quit. And then my video took off and it completely changed her business. Like she was featured on Good Morning America. Like that one product changed TikTok Shop for me and allowed me to see like you could make life-changing money just from being genuine about how much you love a product.
Right. So did that video, when you were at this point in your TikTok career, did that video have a TikTok shop? Like was the crop tuck linked on that video through TikTok shop and you were able to earn commission through it? Or was it just like you were just like doing her basically kind of a favor?
At that point, yeah, it was a TikTok Shop link.
Wow. Do you remember how much you made in commission off of that video?
I think she set the commission rate to 15%, which I think that's equivalent to like $3 or $4 for each one sold. I posted that video in June of 2023, and then it continued to be a top seller for me throughout December. And I would say like in those months, I made just from selling the crop tuck like $80,000
That was in like what?
from
That was like
June to December. Yeah, around 6 months.
So like 6 months, $80,000 in 6 months from one product.
Mm-hmm. And at that time,
Which
I was
is
still
insane.
working as a barista. So, like, all of that was just extra income.
Oh my gosh. First of all, that's insane. And congratulations on that. But it's so interesting because it's like that product, like you said, it's 15%, which is like $3 or something. So to sell $80,000 in commission, like you have to be selling so many units of that product, which is, I think, one of the things that's like so exciting about TikTok Shop is that every video that you post has the potential to go viral and be something like that. Like you weren't going into it thinking, oh, like I know I'm going to make $80,000 in commission off of this because I have this down to a science or whatever. You were just like, I think your product is so genius. Let me talk about it. And then you ended up making almost 6 figures in 6 months from a product that's $3 in commission a piece, right? Like that's
Insane.
like insane. Insane. Can you like kind of just reiterate to the timeline from when you got started with TikTok Shop to when you started making sales? So I think that's something that kind of makes people nervous. They're like, okay, I'm going to get this account. I'm going to grow it to 5,000 followers. I'll get into TikTok Shop, but then it's hard to know what to expect from when you get into TikTok Shop to when you can start really making sales. And I know when you started, it was obviously, different and less competitive. And, you were able to get access to a lot more products than someone getting started might be able to now with the large budget that TikTok had given you. But what was that timeline like from when you started to when you started making a couple sales? And then when you started to be like, okay, holy cow, this is starting to be like a significant amount of money.
I would say times are a lot different than how it was back then. I would say the sales really started to take off within a month or two because I think I had posted that
Wow.
video in the beginning of June and then it didn't go viral until July. So, and I've even heard a lot of TikTok Shop advice accounts. They say if you post a video and it doesn't go viral right away, that should not discourage you because most of the time when you post a video, it takes around 2 to 3 months for that video to kind of warm up anyways, and for TikTok's algorithm to kind of find where that video should be targeting people. That's also why SEO is so, so important. I do it for every single one of my videos, and I feel like that really helps get it pushed out to the people that I'm like trying to target.
Yes. Can you explain a little bit about what SEO is, like what that means for someone who might not be familiar?
Yeah, SEO, it's search engine optimization. So let's say if you want to look up, spring outfit inspiration, you type that into Google and a bunch of results will pop up or related keywords, search topics. So anything that someone could potentially search to find your video, that's what you want to embed into your video. So I actually will have an entire paragraph, and I use ChatGPT a lot for this, but I will just say, give me a full list of keywords, phrases, and search topics related to this, whatever your video is going to be about. It'll spit that out for you. You embed it into your video by basically copying and pasting it and then just dragging it off to the side so it's not visible. But on TikTok's back end, if someone searches anything that you've already embedded, your video will pop up. So if
Right.
you're wondering why your videos aren't reaching like a target audience, or you're wondering why is TikTok categorizing my video as this, it's probably because you're not doing search engine optimization.
Right. It's funny because I hear that I do a lot of like SEO stuff. I used to do that with like my freelance clients and blogs and trying to get their blogs to rank and stuff. But people don't think about it as much with social media. But it's like if someone is looking for, the best jeans, because we were talking about that before we got on too, that was a product that did really well for you. If someone's looking for like the best jeans for short girls and they're searching that in on the TikTok search bar, you want your video to be what shows up. And you have to put things on that video like text and, in the caption and the hashtags and on the video that help TikTok figure out what that video is so it can figure out where to rank it. I'm curious, like on that topic, what is your strategy for picking products? Because obviously the crop tuck did really well for you and you picked that product based just off like your own genuine excitement about that. Is that typically how you still pick products to this day and how you think people should pick them in today's TikTok shop world? I know those jeans also did really well for you too. For context, people listening, before we got on, I was saying to Sydney, I'm like, I think I remember seeing one of your TikTok videos. She used to do these TikTok shop videos for a pair of jeans. And I think you sold me on them. I think I bought them because I was just like, these look like the best jeans ever. And that was 2 years ago? Like, how do you go about picking products? And what do you think people should do in today's TikTok shop playbook to pick the right products?
Well, now with TikTok Shop, they are really focusing on becoming a vertical creator. And if you don't know what that is, it's verticalizing your account. So essentially niching down. If you primarily post fashion videos, they only want you to stick with fashion videos. I'm even being told that from my TikTok star creator managers, and I'm a rebel and I sort of disregard information because I don't believe in niching down. If I love everything, if I love fashion, fitness, beauty, household, I'm going to post all of that. I'm not just going to post one thing and limit myself to that. So this whole entire time, I would say primarily my account focuses on fashion because a lot of people like my style. They like the fact that I'm very honest with my clothing reviews and I show everything in a very like short, quick manner. But I don't let that decide that's only what I'm going to post. So when I'm choosing products to promote, it's genuinely products that I am interested in, products that I believe I could pitch and sell in a genuine way. And I am not a creator who is going to be bought out by a company. Like if some company comes to me with a flat rate and they're like, we want you to promote this, if I genuinely don't believe in it, I'm not going to promote it just for the money because that's just not who I am.
Mhm.
And product selection, I would say, I mean, just it comes down to, are you going to like it or not? If you don't like it, share why you don't like it. I feel like people love that authenticity and they want to see genuine reviews, and people will buy. People will buy from that. They're going to trust you. They're going to build a sense of this person knows what they're talking about and they have connections to receive these products for free. And I don't want to spend my money on them. You know what I mean?
Right. I think that level of honesty makes people trust when you're giving a positive review too, because they're like, well, when they said that something wasn't good, now it makes me trust that when they say something is good, they actually mean that rather than someone who's just like, everything is the best product ever. Because it's like, how many skincare products could be the best skincare product you've ever tried? You know, it's like you can't give that endorsement to every single thing. I'm curious what you think about. I know when TikTok Shop first came out, one of the criticisms people had about the products on it was that it was a lot of like Temu and Alibaba and kind of like cheaper things that weren't the best of quality. And now I feel like we're seeing a lot more, like bigger brands getting on there. We're seeing, I love Vitality activewear. Vitality's on there, and they're for a set, it's like probably like over $100. We're seeing Princess Polly. We're seeing a lot of those brands that are higher priced items. I even saw it was like a $300 home appliance the other day. Do you feel like the price of the item matters? Like if someone was getting started on TikTok Shop, should they go for some of those more well-known brands that might be higher ticket? Or does it make sense to start with the things that people might impulse buy faster because it's a cheaper product?
I would say the more you understand your audience and your following, the easier it's going to be for you to target your product selection to them. And again, our main goal is to have our videos pop up on the For You page, but majority of your following is going to see that and they're going to be following you, looking to you for product recommendations or, whatever reason they follow you. So I would say if you're just starting out with TikTok Shop, understanding like what are you willing to spend money on, then that will probably give you better insight as to what someone else is willing to spend money on. If you're super bougie, maybe the bougie audience is for you. Or if you're a budget, more affordable, you were born and raised thrifting your entire life. Like I still to this day, like will justify, I'll spend $12 on a burrito, but I won't spend $12 on a new bra. Like make that make sense.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah, I'll do the same thing where I'm like, oh, like this top is like $40. That's so much, but I have no problem, going to a dinner for
Right.
$40. And I think it goes back to your point of it has to be genuine because if you are the bougie person, or maybe you're just like pickier about clothes, like you only want to buy natural fibers and you want it to be sustainably sourced and, all of those things. Yeah, then maybe that's what you talk about because you can get on your account and talk about a, sustainably made top a million times over because that really excites you. But if you are a thrifter and maybe that's something that you don't really value and you want to talk about, clothing that might not be as pricey, then maybe that's, what you talk about. I am curious how many times, well, I guess kind of going back before that, when did TikTok Shop, is it your full time? And when did it become your full time? Like how long into this, were you doing it before it became your full time
So
income?
I would say in 2023 of July, when things really started to take off. At that point, I had already been a barista for 5 years and I thoroughly enjoyed my job. I have told so many people, if you ever have the chance to be a barista, do it because it can be so much fun. Like the people you connect with, what girl doesn't like coffee, you know, and just having that be your job. And also the tips were really, really good depending on your personality. But I would say like halfway through, I left being a barista. I think it was October or November of 2023. And it was such a hard decision for me to make because I didn't want to leave my job. I was scared. I was scared, like, what if this doesn't take off for me, or what if that was just a one and done deal, and can I actually make this my full-time job? But you don't know until you take the leap and just go for it. So I would say within a matter of like 3 to 6 months, that's when I made it my full-time job. And then it really did just take off from there because I was allowing myself more time to dedicate to just content.
Right. So it's been your full-time job ever
Mhm.
since now, is that right? What does your day-to-day look like now? Like, how often are you posting? Like, because now it's your full-time and you have, your whole day to do it. What does that look like on a day-to-day? Like, how often are you posting?
I have
Yeah.
shared a lot of videos in my vlogs playlist where I take you through an entire day of like, this is what my day looks like as a 30-year-old content creator. And so I will always start my days off really early. Like I like to get my workouts in really early in the morning. I vlog those workouts often because I like to share what fitness routine I'm doing. My mom was also a fitness instructor my entire life, so that's always like been instilled into me. And then I like to batch a lot of my content. I know that doesn't work for a lot of people, but I need those days where I can doll myself up, record everything like 7 to 10 videos, and then the entire next day just couch rot and edit everything. Or, I have a simple life with friends too. So I like to not make every day about work. And that's what I do. I would say I batch a lot of my content, and then I like to post once or twice a day. I know there's so many people out there who try to pump out 10, 20 videos a day. I will never understand that work ethic. Like, good for them. That's just not me. I prefer posting quality over quantity. So if it's going to take a little bit longer for me to edit my videos, perfect them the way that I want, then that's just what works for me.
Yeah, I was curious what your perspective was because I have heard that advice of, post, 30 times a day if you can. And I was part of this like TikTok shop pilot program through an agency, and I had tried my hand at a dedicated TikTok shop account. And oh my gosh, even just posting 5 videos a day, I was like, and I was batching them. I was like, this is so much more work than you think it's going to be when you're doing that volume. And you're like, what do I say in all of these? And being a creator that I feel like is probably similar, you're probably similar in this way of we want the video to be really
Yes.
high impact and like actually like unique and not just like I'm just gonna fire off and then it's not really like well edited or
Yeah,
anything
kudos to
like
the
that.
girls who can do all of
I
that
feel like
on top of vlogging everything, because
right.
vlogs take the most amount of time
Yes,
to edit, and it's just insane. Like when you're doing TikTok shop full time,
it
you
is.
you can't do both, or at least I can't.
Yeah, it's so much. I thought, oh, it might not be too bad to film, all these videos and then, gosh, trying to edit 5 of them every single day. It was a lot, but some people say that that is what you need to get started. So I was really curious what your perspective was on that. But okay, I know you shared how much you made from the crop tuck. I'm curious if you're open to sharing like how much you made in your highest month, or if there was another product that you were like, that was a winning product for me. And I had another crop tuck moment where I made a whole
Ooh,
chunk from it.
let's see. There was another product that did very well for me. This was right before Black Friday hit in 2024. It was the Seek Clear Protein. And there's so many different brands of them now, but Clear Protein in
Okay.
general, that was pretty big because it was just so different from the other protein products you were seeing on the market. And I pitched it in a very like refreshing ASMR style type of way. Also, the RFM jeans, I think those are the jeans you're referring to from Alexander Jane. Those and
Mm-hmm.
Judy Blue jeans, chef's kiss. Like they look amazing on curves. So I always strike a home run with those.
Wow. Have you ever had a day that you made like a ton of commission that you were like, oh my gosh, like in one day?
I wish the TikTok shop platform allowed you to go back to like when it first began and like see those numbers and analytics, but the most it will let you go back is like 6 months. But I would say the most amount of commission I made in one single day was like $6,000 in one day. And ever since starting TikTok Shop in May of
Wow.
2023, I have had 0 days where I make 0 commission. So that is a fantastic line of
Wow.
passive income. You know, if I do a day and I don't want to film or do anything, I don't have to worry because all of my videos that I've posted are making passive income.
Right. Which goes back to what you were saying at the beginning about that searchability of the content. It's like the content doesn't just perform for you the day you post it or, the couple months after you post it. It could perform years later. Like someone could go on TikTok and look up crop tuck review and it might be your videos from 2 years ago. And if they buy it off of that video, then you're making commission, which is, it's just cool to see that the work that you put into on TikTok Shop can really compound. Like going forward, like you can still keep on earning, and to have no days without making money is amazing, especially if you're not logging on, if you're like, I'm just going to take some time off and it's
I
still
am
earning
very
you money in the
grateful for that.
background.
I know like
that is
a lot
amazing.
of other TikTok Shop
um
creators who, struggle with that, but just I want to reassure anyone who is listening that it is possible and you just have to be patient and understand that it is a long game. And your videos, you just never know what will take off. Like a lot of videos that I put so much effort and dedication and time into don't even perform as well as something that I just whipped up in 30 seconds. It doesn't make sense, but you never know.
Yeah, and you just have to show up either time. That happens to me too. Sometimes I'll spend so much time on a video and then I'm like, it does nothing. And then the one I just film really quick is the one that pops off. Okay, the last question I want to ask you before we wrap up is just if you could give someone who wants to start TikTok Shop one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say to stop trying to sell people on something and just genuinely share it. Share your hot take, share your opinion, share your thoughts on it. Because people don't like to be sold to. You wouldn't naturally come to a friend and be like, I have this product for you. It's going to clear up your skin. It's going to do this. No, you're going to come to your friend and you're going to say, I've been using this skincare and it has done amazing things for my skin. Like you want to share your experience with it and how that could potentially benefit someone else or how it could solve a problem for them. And maybe that doesn't work for everyone. Maybe you want to style it as like an infomercial, which I did in the beginning and it did work. But with so many TikTok Shop affiliates out there now, I feel like people are just getting very fatigued with how hard people are trying to sell. And the moment you stop trying to sell and you genuinely just share, that's when your sales and everything will just change.
I love that. I love that. That is a really good point because I do think people are getting fatigued over the sales, but it just goes to show what I feel like what you've said throughout this whole thing. It just being genuine, actually liking the products that you're promoting and sharing them like you would if you were just sharing it with a friend, which I think is probably even more empowering for people listening because you don't have to be a super salesy person or, know all the sales psychology. You can just be a person who's really genuine and excited about products that you love and wanting to share them online. So I hope that I know this interview will be really, really empowering for the people listening. And thank you so
Of
much for
course.
coming on to the podcast. We really appreciate it.